Hello, CMA candidates! Today, we're going to break down a topic that's absolutely critical for your exam, financial leverage. We're going to see how companies can use debt to really amplify their returns, but also how that exact same strategy introduces some pretty significant risk. Okay, let's dive right in. Here's what we've got on tap. We'll kick things off with what financial leverage actually is. Then, we'll walk through two key ways to calculate its impact, using something called the degree of financial leverage. And we'll wrap it all up by looking at that critical risk versus reward trade-off that you absolutely need to understand for the exam. All right, first things first. When you hear someone say a company is leveraged, what are we really talking about? Well, it all comes down to the role of debt in how that company is structured. At its heart, financial leverage is all about using borrowed money, debt, to finance your assets. And that debt creates a fixed cost, one that doesn't change, interest payments. This little detail has some really big implications down the line. Now, you can't really manage leverage effectively if you can't measure it first, right? So the key metric we use for this is the degree of financial leverage, or DFL for short. Let's break down how we actually calculate it. So there are two really common ways to calculate DFL. First up is what we call the single period version. Think of this one as giving us a snapshot of the company's leverage at one specific point in time. The formula itself is pretty straightforward. It's just your earnings before interest and taxes, or EBIT, divided by your earnings before taxes, or EBT. Simple as that. And here you can see exactly where these numbers come from on an income statement. See how we start with an EBIT of $150,000? Then, after we subtract that fixed interest cost of $15,000, we're left with our EBT of $135,000. The DFL formula is all about measuring the relationship between these two numbers. So, using the numbers from our little example, the calculation gives us a DFL of 1.11. So what does a number like 1.11 actually tell us? This is the crucial part. It means that for every single dollar of pre-tax profit this company wants to generate, it actually needs to bring in $1.11 of operating income. So where did that extra 11 cents go? You guessed it, straight to covering its fixed interest cost. Okay, let's shift gears to the second version of the DFL formula. This one is different. It doesn't look at a single snapshot. Instead, it measures the sensitivity of our profits by looking at the change between two different periods. This formula tells us how sensitive a company's net income is to a change in its operating income, its EBIT. Basically, it shows us how much a change at the top of the income statement gets magnified by the time it hits the bottom line. Now, looking here, we can see our inputs for this calculation. Let's imagine that between last year and this year, EBIT grew by a nice 20%. Meanwhile, net income grew by 17.39%. We're just going to plug these two percentages directly into our formula. And when we plug those numbers in, it gives us a DFL of 0.87. But again, what does that really mean? This shows the magnifying, or in this specific case, a dampening effect of leverage. It means that for every 1% change in EBIT, the company's net income only changes by 0.87%. Now, if that DFL number was greater than 1, you'd see the opposite effect. Net income would become more volatile and way more sensitive to any swings in operating performance. Okay, now we get to the real heart of it. Why all of this matters so much. You see, financial leverage is a classic double-edged sword. It's a constant trade-off between risk and reward. On one hand, when things are going great and the company is profitable, leverage can seriously magnify the returns to shareholders. That's the reward. But on the other hand, those debt payments are a legal obligation. They have to be paid, which becomes a huge risk if business suddenly slows down. And this is the key risk you have to remember. Debt payments don't just disappear because you had a bad quarter. Nope, they are a fixed legal obligation, period. And a big tip for your exam, remember that the why is just as important as the how. The test isn't just going to ask you to calculate DFL. It's going to test whether you can actually apply the concept and analyze the trade-offs involved. So we'll end on this thought. There's really no single right answer for every company. Finding the right level of leverage is a huge strategic decision that's all about balancing ambition with caution.